So now I'm thinking, talking to you for the first time and having all the stuff in my head from the, third party media, thinking, reclusive institution, elitist. But then I meet you and your team, and it wasn't what I was expecting. It was a diverse team, a team filled with women, a team filled with people of color. And I'm like, all right, I guess this is SoftBank. I after that call, I was like, let me do some research. I don't know why I didn't do research before speaking with them. And I learned that SoftBank was really about the values and philosophy I just couldn't put together either. It was like creating happiness and inspiration. It was about serving people and doing that all in the context of the information revolution. And you're getting into that though, but it didn't feel like the traditional exclusive, not that you're not exclusive because you are, but it didn't feel like the traditional path of a VC. You're distinctly different. And that stood out.
Yeah, there's a really important point there, which is Masa. I mean, people think of Masa, if you know him, Masa he's the CEO of SoftBank.
Japanese?
Yes, but Korean. And that's very important to know because ethnic Koreans in Japan are hugely discriminated against. I mean, Japan colonized Korea.
A lot of history there.
The Nigerian in London is like the Korean in Japan. The Japanese colonized Korea, thought they were inferior people. To everyone outside of Japan, they're like, oh, he's Japanese because we think Asian people look the same. So we're at fault. He's not. He's Korean. And that's a really important fact. He was not accepted.
Masayoshi Son Japanese right from the get-go, but I guess I'm sort of racist then. I guess I got to fix that.
You're racist.
I am. Like,
you're the problem.
I am the problem. Completely.
By the way, my daughter is screaming. There's nothing I can do about it. So we're all just gonna have to live with it. she's somewhere else, but she screams really loud. Sorry, everybody.
That's fine. We all have kids.
Yeah. So Masa built this business against all odds. He spoke weird English. He came to Berkeley, but was this weird outsider. And he went back to Japan and said, I'm just going to build a bank for software, literally software, shrink wrap software in boxes in a store. Because that's what was happening then is a lot of software distribution. I'll call it SoftBank because it'll have all this software in one place. And that was the beginning, 40 years ago. And he kept chasing the next secular trend and breaking the rules in Japan. And in Japan, rules are the country, it's how you operate. But he was the rule breaker. And so SoftBank has always been this underdog. And it's probably the biggest underdog in the world right now. But it still has that idea of we're not accepted in the major club. So we're just going to go do our own thing. We'll change the rules. We'll overinvest. We'll raise $100 billion from the Saudis. And all of Silicon Valley was very upset about that because someone came in and started to mess around with their playground. But to put it politely, fuck it.
and I'm thinking now, it never occurred to me until after meeting you and hearing the story, your leaders are sort of you all should have some sort of imposter syndrome as VCs globally, right? Because Masa is this Korean Japanese guy, right? Marcelo is a Latino, I believe.
Yeah, in Bolivia.
Bolivia.
Which nobody can place on a map. Bolivia is one of these places nobody knows where it is.
And then you're from, Nairobi. I believe you probably started with the Vision Fund with Rajiv, right? So you guys are really on the outside a little bit.
Yeah, and we have made a lot of mistakes. But we really are truly a band of outsiders. And what happens when you can't get in the clubs that everyone is holding the velvet rope to is you try to figure something else out. And we did it perhaps sometimes awkwardly and with too much capital and all that stuff. But the true north is actually fairly pure, believe it or not. Masa wants to change the world with tech and make it a better place. Simple as that.